All right, good evening, race fans. Welcome to tonight's event from the Frigidigi Racing League. Back here again on a Wednesday night, getting set to do battle at Texas Motor Speedway. They say everything is bigger in Texas, and that includes the pressure to win round number 2 of the Frigidigi Racing League. Joining up here in the booth with me tonight is my good friend Chris Rose, going to help call the action for the next 134 laps.
How you guys doing tonight? Tom welcomed me back on the broadcast. I guess I did such a great job last time, so he brought me back up here. I'm gonna be talking to him through the race here.
Last week's winner, Matt Semple, currently fastest in practice at the top of the speed charts is what I was going to say. Other notables out here right now, Brad Holmes, second fastest in practice, 134 laps. That's going to be broken up by a couple of stages out here this evening, with stages at the end of lap number 34 and 68. As drivers make their final minutes of opening practice out here. Chris, we talk about Texas Motor Speedway and recently the redesign a couple of years ago, and I've never been able to kind of get a handle on this place. I know a lot of drivers struggle with this track, particularly turn 1.
Oh yeah, turn 1 at Texas, especially me. I definitely have trouble there as well, but turn 1 is really technical. You got to get the car slowed down like really early and have a good run off to have a real actual competitive momentum through the corner.
You can see just how wide turn 1 is there as we follow Mike Schaefer, tonight's race sponsor, around here as he works his way down the backstretch. These drivers are going to be battling the conditions out here this evening as practice begins to wind down. Last week's winner, as stated, Matt Semple at the top of the speed charts. Brad Holmes, Aiden Shrine really is kind of maybe a little bit of a standout here. Very good on the road courses and starting to show some speed consistently on the ovals, as looks like practice is going to end, and that's going to bring us to our 5-minute qualifying.
Having some connection issues here, trying to get back in the server here.
We wait for cars to line up at the exit of pit road, and we're going to see who is the first to light up. Looks like Brad Holmes going to be one of the first ones to sit down at the edge of pit road and begin his 2 laps that they have here. Chris, I got to imagine lap number 1 probably going to be the better lap for the majority of these drivers.
Yeah, probably. Them tires wear real fast especially after running that turn 1. It really warms them up and eats them up a little bit quick. So you really want to get the lap 1 quick lap out from you.
Brad Holmes, one of the first drivers out on track. Paxton Frith, Dustin McMurray, Logan Spencer, Roy Hill III, Aiden Shrine, and more already on their first lap. Brad Holmes going to come across the start-finish line to give us our first green flag lap of tonight's event. Going to drop down to the bottom shelf of the speedway in turns 1 and 2. And be patient on that throttle because it's easy. It's very wide on the exit of corner number 1, but it's also very easy to slap that wall on the exit of turn number 2 there. But we'll see what he's able to do first time by. He's going to bring that 00 Chevy Camaro around the start-finish line.
That one point that you mentioned off of a 3, it is really easy to smack that wall. Or sorry, off of 4, that it is really easy to smack that wall.
On board with Brad Holmes as he first time by, currently fastest on top of the charts. Other names coming on the scoring pylon right now: Paxton Frith, Aiden Shrine, Roy Hill III, Justin Stoyanovsky. All drivers looking to knock the 00 out of the tentative pole position out here. We'll see if lap number 2 is going to be any faster for Brad. Brad may have actually caught a little bit of the grass right there on the front stretch. Looks like lap number 2 going to be a little bit slower for Brad. Roy Hill III in the 77 Ford Mustang going to be completing his second lap. We'll see where he was. First time by was good enough for 6th for Roy. Second time is a little bit of a pickup, a little bit of an improvement for Roy, but still going to hold in the 6th place position. Matt Semple looks like he is going to be finishing up his qualifying run. Uriel Vaughn, new driver out here for the Frigidigi Racing League on these Wednesday Night Cup Series. We'll see what Uriel is able to do. He's going to take the green flag for his first lap.
Looking strong going into turn 1 here. See if he gets it right. Seems like he does. Able to roll the bottom really well. See if he keeps that exit nice. Could have used a little bit more of the track there. Maybe lost a little bit of speed, but the lap still seems like it's going to be okay.
Down to turn number 3, he's going to slide up maybe a little bit more than he wanted to, and he's going to get close, and he's going to make contact with the outside wall. That's going to end. That's really a bad place for that to happen, Chris, because when you have an issue at the exit of corner number 4, that's going to affect not just that lap that it just occurred on, but it's also going to affect the next one. So Roy's going to have, or Uriel's going to have an option to get back down on pit road and try this again, but he's only going to have one real-time lap to put down a qualifying, following the 19 of Mackenzie Clayton around right now. Gabriel Knight has jumped up to the top 5 as it runs right now. 4th on the board currently being held. Brad Holmes, Aiden Shrine, Mike Schaefer, Gabriel Knight. The top 5 rounded out by Dustin McMurray. If you're out in our chat tonight, let us know who you're rooting for, who you want to see do well. Drivers got 134 laps before we get some answers to the questions out here tonight. Who takes home the second checkered flag of the season? Ken Matt Semple, last season's champion, by the way, here at the Friggy Diggy Racing League. Ken Matt Semple go from winning the championship in November, winning last week at Daytona, and following it up with another win. That would carry some momentum for driver number 8. He's going to currently be 10th on the board as Uriel looks like he just completed both of his laps. And looks like he's going to be 13th. Issues on both of his qualifying laps.
Yeah, unfortunate coming out of one there. Looks like he got real loose and just the next-gen car just snaps away from him there.
15 drivers made their way to the Great American Speedway out here, as it looks like qualifying about done here. Got about another 25 seconds or so, but 3 drivers electing not to take a qualifying time. Some by choice, some not by choice. Christopher Puglisi in the 42, Uriel Vaughn, and Christian Key. All right, Chris, so we come in here to tonight's race, 34 laps. We know that fuel is not going to be an issue. Fuel is somewhere around 40, 45 laps. We've heard from race control already. How did these drivers manage their tires over the next 34 laps for 2 stages?
You know, honestly, I think it's going to be a lot of just taking it easy and just, at least early in the run, taking it easy and not really burning up the right sides. I know these cars just get really, really loose, especially if you burn that rear right too much. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I haven't really ran Texas much in these cars, so don't really have much other than that.
All right, well, it's about time, Chris. On a Wednesday night, we get set to go green flag racing from the Friggy Diggy Racing League. Let's pull up the starting lineup for tonight's event. We get set to roll out of here. Out of Texas Motor Speedway, Brad Holmes going to be the pole winner out here tonight. On the outside of row number 1, it's going to be the driver of the 97, Aiden Shrine. Mike Schaefer, tonight's race sponsor for this race. Starts 3rd in row number 2, Gabriel Knight in 4th. Dustin McMurray rolls off at the top 5 starting spot. Logan Spencer in the 89 starts 6th with Lucas Hansen in 7th. The top 10 is rounded out by Paxton Frith in 8th, Mackenzie Clayton in 9th, and Matt Semple in 10th.
Then we got Roy Hill in 11th in that 77. We got Justin Stoyanovsky, in the 48 and 12th. Christian Key in 13th. Christopher Puglisi in 14th, as well as Uriel Vaughn in 15th.
3 drivers electing not to take a timeout here, and I mean, Texas is not a track that is overwhelmingly difficult to pass at, but 34 laps before the first batch of stage points are awarded. Certainly going to be a tough task for these drivers as they begin to roll off a pit road out here this evening. Let's see some predictions out in the chat, who you guys got going out to victory lane. Maybe we'll just grab a mid-race interview with them at some point. But you hear the engines roar, and that means one thing: it's almost time to go racing.
As it is, you hear the engines start up here. They're getting rolling and going. See some people starting to warm their tires. It's probably going to be giving them a little bit of an advantage here.
Field gets set to do battle. Brad Holmes elects to take the inside lane for the initial start of the race. Aiden Shrine on the outside. Gabriel Knight had a strong run last week at Daytona in that Camry. Almost said Supra. In that Camry for Gabriel and Mike Schaefer. Always a threat late in the runs here at the Friggy Diggy Racing League. But the lights are extinguished on the iRacing.com pace car. We got the sedan out here this week. I think last week we had the truck. But lights are out and drivers are ready to grab gear and get rolling out here tonight.
Lights are off on that iRacing.com's pace car, and he's about to take a hard left down in the pit lane. We're going to see the drivers get ready for their restart here.
Into the restart zone, Brad Holmes, Aiden Shrine going to bring us to the start for tonight's event from the Bigger in Texas 200. Green flag is out, and we are rolling. Brad Holmes on the inside with Mike Schaefer directly behind, giving him a little bit of a push down into turn number 1. Aiden Shrine, lone wolf up top shelf with no help directly behind him, but it's going to settle out with Brad Holmes in the lead. Aiden Shrine in second by the time they exit 2.
Looks like Brad Holmes. Oh, we got trouble in the back there. Looks like the 45 of Lucas Hansen goes around. Collects a few others. Stays green.
We stay green here. A huge hit. Now the yellow flag is displayed. We'll grab a replay of that, but early troubles for the 45 of Lucas Hansen. I want to say Christopher Puglisi was also involved in that. We'll take a look at the 42. You can see such heavy damage on that right front of that Camaro already. Lap number 1. Turn one is unforgiving, Chris, here, and I think we just saw maybe a little bit of that.
Yeah, it looks like they just get really loose off of one, like extremely loose, especially on those cold tires. And it just looked like some issues there for the 45.
All right, so let's try to back this up here. So Lucas Hansen with some significant damage on that 45. Try to get a better look here. We're gonna have to step back just a second or two and get a better understanding of what happened. But Matt Semple's going to get into the outside retaining wall. I thought maybe originally he got through. You see Justin Stoyanovsky in the 48, Christian Key in the 3 in the red and gray car on the bottom. And then you've got just Chris Puglisi and Lucas Hansen getting together on the backstretch. Let's try to grab a replay. Maybe from back up here just a little bit. So this is turn 1, lap 1. We've got the 45 kind of running by himself here, Chris. Logan Spencer up on the outside. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so it looks like they're sending it 3 wide here. The 17 is going to be a little bit slow in the middle. 45 is going to be on the bottom. I'm wondering if the bottom of the track just got the car a little loose. Yeah, it's walking up right here. Looks like he's walking it up. Oh, yep. It's definitely the bottom of the track getting the car loose.
Yeah, and you can see, I mean, I thought maybe Logan had bounced off the wall and maybe that's where that started, but definitely just cold tires on the inside of turn number 1. Going to collect multiple cars here. We'll grab another replay at speed. Couple of cars on pit road getting some damage fixed for the early going here. And we're on board here with Christopher Puglisi, who gets involved.
Damn, yeah, It just looks like he just could not get it straight.
Early race incidents here bring out the first caution flag of the evening. Taking a look at Lucas Hansen. Drivers do have a fast repair out here, so not game over, not the end of the night for these drivers because of that incident. So these guys going to be able to come down pit road. Lucas Hansen uses his fast repair. I want to say Chris probably did as well. We'll take a better look once we get down into turn number 3 at the 42. With damage that bad, I would imagine he would use it, and yeah, it would certainly looks like he did. Matt Semple, though. Matt Semple choosing not to use the... I think I still see a little bit of damage on the right front there for the Maple Missile.
Yeah, pretty significant right front damage there on the on that number 8 Alta machine.
Oh yeah, you could see his splitter is all the way up in the air, but not the place you want to have front end damage at. That is for certain. Aiden Shrine, Brad Holmes still going to be on the front row. Dustin McMurray has made his way up to row number 2 for this restart. Mike Schaefer lost a spot in the early goings and going to be restarting in 3rd. All right, Chris, so now the nerves may be a little bit higher than they were in lap 1, turn 1. Drivers go down there and they see, okay, well, we just saw some issues for these drivers. Now we got to get through without issue. And now if you're the 45 or the 42 drivers that have already used the fast repair, you got to approach these next 130 laps maybe a little bit more cautiously than what you were going to originally.
Absolutely, got to keep it very cautious through here. It's good, probably going to be really nerve-wracking. Like you said, it's just another restart right after the first one. It just, gives you the same idea as the first one of the race. It's not really much difference. It's the same tire temps as well. They're going to be ready to hit the loud pedal right here. Aiden Shrine's going to take us about now. Gets a good jump off the line on Brad Holmes.
Good start for the inside line. That's Aiden Shrine. He's going to be door bumper clear by about a car and a half length by the time they get down into the south end of the speedway. New leader out here tonight. Aiden Shrine looks to lead his first lap of the event. Brad Holmes has settled into second. Dustin McMurray has started fifth out here tonight. Already increased his running position up to a third place spot. Other drivers kind of on the move right now. Roy Hill, the third, started 11th out here tonight, up a couple of positions in the early goings of tonight's event as we come across the start finish line. It's complete lap number 5 of 134, 34 laps in stage number 1.
Yeah, like you were talking, Roy Hill's up 3 positions from the start, as well as Christian Key. They're both moving pretty well. We got Aiden Shrine trying to fend off Brad Holmes right here. Brad might send it to the inside here, maybe try to get a little bit of a run outside of the corner, but doesn't look like it's going to happen.
You hear the throttle already, and this is something that drivers are going to have to manage as this run goes along, as the tires start to wear a little bit more, probably about 15 laps or so, maybe 12, 15 laps. That's where you're really going to start to see cars get tight, see both of these cars driving right around the painted white line on the entry into turn number 1, likely the same thing down here in turns 3 and 4. But if you're not careful with these tires, they will start to fight back on you later in the going at the end of this stage.
And you can hear these drivers shifting through 4th and 5th gear into turn 1. I can't really tell if they're doing it into 3 and 4, but it's turn 1. It seems like they're downshifting in 4th just to get a little bit more rotation. Turn 1 can be really, really difficult.
Oh, that's an interesting pickup there. I didn't even hear that they were shifting, but interesting pickup if that's the case. Brad Holmes has a little bit of an issue on the exit of turn number 2. That's going to allow Dustin McMurray to get up there to the outside of the 00 as they run right now. Battles directly behind. We got Logan Spencer in the wall hard on the exit of turn number 4.
Yeah, problems with Logan Spencer and what looked to be, I believe, the 17 car. It looked like they just had a little bit of contact coming off the corner, and Logan could not get it kept.
Well, let's grab another look here. So you got the 17 of Gabriel Knight directly below him here. Maybe there was a little bit of contact to get him up and out of the way originally, but the second piece there is kind of him just getting loose, and you see the damage. Absolutely. The damage now to the right front of that 89. That's a pretty significant lick.
Yeah, especially through the tri-oval there. He got 2 hits into that outside wall. It's definitely going to be really detrimental to that car.
Yeah, Logan Spencer on pit road right now, either getting a fast repair or services to that vehicle. He'll be back out there, though, in just a minute. Thing that he needs to be careful of is he has the opportunity to go multiple laps down while this is happening. These drivers staying out here, and they're clicking off sub 30-second lap times for the majority of the field. Last time by a 29.87 for Aiden Shrine, bested only by second place Dustin McMurray.
Looks like drivers are going to be pretty settled out at the moment here at Texas Motor Speedway. Looks like everybody's pretty single file for now. Probably see a lot of tire saving going on. Don't want to get 2 races too early, so.
Taking a look back on the rear camera of Brad Holmes and the 00 Chevy Camaro. He's got Mike Schaefer. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I just heard it drop down into 4th on the entrance to turn number 1. So that's an interesting concept there. I would be wondering if like Aiden Shrine and Dustin McMurray up at the front of the field are doing the same thing. We'll go on board with them here in just a moment, but we're going to follow this battle here between the 11 of Dustin McMurray and Brad Holmes as this battle starts to heat up once again on the front stretch. Brad Holmes may be thinking about taking a look to the inside on the entry to 1. Going to have to wait at least one more set of corners.
Yeah, as you can see, he gave the 11 a little bit of the brake onto turn 1 because I don't think he really wanted to blow his entry and smoke his tires a little bit more. So I think Brad is playing the safe game here and chasing down the 11.
Lap number 13 in the books. Going to begin 14 out here tonight. 20 laps to go in stage number 1 before the first batch of stage points are going to be awarded to the top 10 finishers in the stage, and those are going to help you make your way to the playoffs. Stage points awarded after the, playoff points awarded after the playoffs start to help you make it through the rounds and continue your hunt for a championship, as these drivers no longer are winning in here in the Friggy Diggy Racing League following the newly updated NASCAR points system. So these drivers know that they have to be consistent all season long and get every single point that they're able to.
Yeah, I honestly like how they're doing that in real life as well. Here, I'm glad that they're following the rules of real life here in the Friggy Diggy Racing League. I honestly like that in real life change for them to go back to the chase. I'm wondering to see how the drivers like it though.
It's going to be something different. I mean, we've been with a playoff, a round structure for a long while now, ever since, I guess, what, 2006, 2007. We've been in a bracket form for a long time, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out over the course of the Friggy Diggy Racing League season, and of course the real life NASCAR Cup Series, as they are switching it up for this season. No longer a win going to get you in. It's going to be consistency, which win titles. Taking a look back here, one of the bigger movers of tonight's event so far, Christian Key. In that number 3, he started 13th out here tonight. One of the drivers that chose not to take a qualifying time already made his way up to 7th.
Hey, Christian Key up 6 positions here. He seems like he's running really, really well here tonight.
He's currently being chased down by the 77, of Roy Hill III, that Ford Mustang directly behind him here. Roy's going to get a little wide on the corner exit there. Starts to see maybe a little bit of tire wear, starts to push through 3 and 4 is last time by. Christian a little bit faster than Roy, the chaser, directly behind him. But these drivers having to play the tire wear. We know fuel's not an issue. We can go the distance on fuel. We can go for speed on fuel before the end of the stage. I think that one went right through you, Chris. I got a music lesson earlier, but we can go for speed. That's I guess that's an old lyric that we were told. Mackenzie Clayton.
That one definitely went right through me. Sorry, man.
Following one of the closer battles out on track right now. We're keeping a close eye on the front of the field, and if something happens up there, we're going to go right to it. But following one of the closer battles out on track right now, Christopher Puglisi involved in that lap 1 incident. Currently back in 12th. He's being chased by the 19 Toyota Camry of Mackenzie Clayton. These drivers just trying to manage here, trying to stay on the lead lap, and maybe if everything goes the right way, get some stage points in the next 14 laps.
Yeah, it really just seems like everybody's taking it easy here this first stage, at least early in this first stage. I'm wondering if they're just going to be way more aggressive once the end of the stage comes around. I'm assuming so.
Well, I mean, I don't imagine that this would likely be the case, right? But maybe in stage 1, you know, it bunches the field back up. It gives an option for maybe some additional yellow flags. Maybe drivers back there saving their tires a little bit, maybe electing to.
Oh, right as we're talking about it, the 11 gets loose right there, and the 11 and the 00 Brad Holmes both get collected there out of turn 1.
Yellow flag that second time tonight. Mike Schaefer gets involved on an incident on the exit of turn number 2. Dustin McMurray. Looked like Dustin got loose on the exit of turn number 2, and then maybe just a little bit of an overcorrection. We'll grab a look here. We'll go on board here with Dustin. We'll grab a couple of looks at this and see what Dustin saw on board with the 11. Oh, that's the definition of wrong place, wrong time for Brad Holmes and Mike Schaefer as well.
I was going to say as well as Mike Schaefer.
Let's grab. All right, let's grab a look here from Mike Schaefer directly behind this incident when it did happen. You see Dustin get loose down there, and
Man, such a hardy impact for the 00 into that left rear.
The 17 of Gabriel Knight gets through without issue, and we'll grab one additional look. Wait, we want to get back before before any sort of pit stops may happen here as the stage starts to come to a close. So Dustin McMurray on the inside gets super loose. Brad Holmes going to go around. I don't think Brad Holmes has enough damage that he needs to use a fast repair, and honestly, Mike Schaefer may not either. He's got a significant damage on the front end of that 29 Camaro, but maybe worth trying to break out the old sledgehammers and pound that out.
That's probably what's going to end up happening here on pit road, seeing those sledgehammers coming out, busting that front end straight out to normal.
One driver, Justin Stoyanovsky, has stayed out on track while the remainder of the field has come down. So Justin Stoyanovsky, Lucas Hansen going to move to the front of the field. Lucas Hansen was first on pit road at that lap 1 incident. So driver's going to have about a 20 lap difference in tires here. That's going to be a difficult one to manage here, even with only, well, we'll call it, I guess, about 10 laps to go in the stage by the time we go green.
Yeah, 10 lap, a huge difference in tires here. I believe you said it was a 10 lap difference. It's going to be hard for the top 2 to be able to fend off everybody else who took 4 tires here.
All right, so that is illuminated the caution lights for the second time here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway as drivers continue to pace around under here. Now underneath the guidance of Lucas Hansen, looking for a bonus point for a lap led out here tonight. May not be surprised if we see him come down this time. May just be looking for a bonus point here, but he's also got the 48 of Justin directly behind him. We'll see if they elect to come down pit road this time. Looks like they are committed here as it runs right now to staying out. So with the lights expected to go out at the start-finish line, this is going to be it's going to be interesting to follow the 45 and the 48 here to see how they manage these 20 lap better tires in front of them.
Okay, the lights are out on the pace car here. They're definitely going to be going green this time. I'm really thinking it's going to be difficult for the 45 and 48 to fend them off, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they were I want to say up probably on the outside of the top 10. So I mean, they've got 5 tire changes here. I probably would have come down here, and maybe if you want to play a little bit of strategy, maybe just take 2 right side tires. It's almost a guarantee that at lap number 34, everybody's going to come back down for pit road service anyway and try to manage that. But we'll see what they know, because we are up here and they are down there, and they know what the car's doing. So we will get set to go back racing as the field starts to line up where they're expected to. Dustin McMurray looks like he's going to be going to the back of the field for responsibility for that caution as the field makes the way around the 11.
Rolling through 3 and 4 here. Everybody's getting filed up. I believe Semple's catching up right now from the back. Yep, there he is. As these drivers get ready to go green here. Hard left turn from the iRacing.com pace car. Here we go.
Pace car down and away and into the restart zone. Lucas Hansen on the inside, Justin Stoyanovsky on the outside. They get a pretty decent jump as Barney's going to send them on their way. They're going to come up through the gearboxes 5 gears strong by the time they get down to turn number 1. Lucas Hansen still with the lead, but for how long? That's the question. He's got second place runner Gabriel Knight breathing down the rear bumper here, and he may have a shot at it in turn number 3.
Almost trouble for Lucas Hansen there. Got really loose coming out of turn 1. That gives Gabriel Knight the momentum there to be able to take the lead from him here. See how he's able to fend off Puglisi here.
By the time they come around the start-finish line, Lucas Hansen has lost the spot. Justin Stoyanovsky lost 3 spots on that opening lap of the restart. Those drivers are running back in 2nd and 5th as they run right now, but we got 2 and 3 wide situations happening behind them as drivers trying to make the most of the good on the Goodyear tires while it's still there. Christopher Puglisi on the inside of the 45 got Paxton Frith in that yellow and purple Ford Mustang trying to follow suit, and you also got former race leader Aiden Shrine.
Here they go. That inside line's moving real fast around the 45 here. That's what I was worried about. The tires don't seem to be lasting nearly as well as those new tires. But here's the aggression that I was looking for earlier in the race. You could see a lot of drivers making moves, trying to get some stage points here.
Aiden Shrine currently runs in the 4th place position and looking to take 3rd place away from Paxton Frith on the exit of turn number 4 at the start finish line. Put a nose ahead for the 97. He's going to be clear by the time they get down into turn number 1. He's going to clear the Mustang of Paxton Frith. Now set his sights on 2nd place, Christopher Puglisi. All while this is happening here, Chris, the race leader, Gabriel Knight, he's opened up a 3/4 of a second lead on 2nd place to 42.
Yeah, you know, he's going to be feeling real comfortable here, especially watching those two battle in his rearview mirror. That's just going to end up slowing those two down and giving him even more of a gap towards 2nd place. And it's just going to be a kind of like a Sunday drive for him, you know, keeping the tires from wearing too bad and just keeping that lead comfortable.
Well, he can't go on too much of a Sunday drive because Aiden Shrine is now taking a look on 2nd place. We know that 97 is fast. Every single week we're out here on the CyberThunder Broadcast Network. Always a contender, especially at the road courses. But tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway, the Oval, and he is making his way. Now kind of holding at about 0.7 of a second here. Now that he's gotten around the 42 of Puglisi, we'll see what he's able to do this time by. He's cut that lead down by about a 1/10 of a second here. He's going to need some help to get up there.
Looks like a little bit of connection issues from the 17. Oh, never mind, he's back. It looked like a little bit of connection issues there. I thought it said out on the relative. I was hoping it didn't happen the same thing to you.
Yeah, thanks for reopening. I don't know how many times we're going to reopen that wound, but I thought we were safe here tonight. I thought this was a good place to be. Not the case. Not the case. Always can always depend on you, my friend. But Aiden Shrine, he's cut that lead in half over the last lap and a half or so, from 0.7 of a second, now almost within 0.4 of a second here. So last time by for Aiden Shrine going to be about 0.2 faster. But now he's got to play with a little bit of the dirty air here in the closing laps of stage 1.
I want to bring up an interesting point here. This is the 2nd time we've seen drivers get into that outside wall off of 4. I'm telling you, car gets super tight off 4 if you, especially if you don't take care of the tires. It doesn't really cut too much speed off, especially if you just brush the wall. But what drivers are looking for is to not really damage their car off of the brush. Yeah,
these next gen cars, they've got some durability to them. You can do some damage to these cars without really affecting them. Maybe unlike the O'Reilly cars or the trucks or whatever, that, you know, the fenders are super sensitive here. Whereas if you put this car in the wall, as long as you don't break a toe link or you don't damage the suspension or anything, you might be okay out of it.
Yeah, it sure seems like that, honestly. These cars are very, very durable. I think, honestly, they built them for it.
Well, the racing
except
showed...
for the toe links.
Yeah, except for the toe links, but got one to go in the stage. Gabriel Knight trying to win the stage, get a playoff point, and grab those 10 elusive stage points, which are within a half a mile's reach of his front bumper. Gabriel Knight going to come around turns 3 and 4 and grab the stage 1 win as we wait for the yellow flag to come out. First stage done and away from Texas Motor Speedway.
Gabriel Knight, Aiden Shrine, Christopher Puglisi rounding out your top 3 for the stage. Looks like they're going to be scoring some good points here.
Not a bad start to the night, Chris. I mean, he started 4th out here tonight. Avoided some early race incidents, 2 cautions in stage number 1. That 17 looks like it just rolled off of the hauler, and going to set himself up in a pretty good spot here to begin stage number 2, which is, it's 34 laps on paper, but it's actually going to be a little bit less because we're going to have some pace laps here in the next handful of laps. So stage 2 going to be probably closer to 30 green flag laps, and put yourself in some clean air to start it.
Yeah, and I'm predicting everybody's going to be coming down here on pit road. Hopefully we don't have anybody staying out too much, because I feel like if you stay out here, you're not going to really have any speed at all. So it's probably going to be everybody coming down here for pit lane for the stage.
Pace car going to catch the field on the backstretch here underneath the guidance of Gabriel Knight. Second place was Aiden Shrine. Looks like Aiden and Chris back there swapping a position real quick. put the 97 back up into second place out here. Let's take a look at the notables here, Chris. Lucas Hansen came down, or excuse me, didn't come down, had no tires in the closing laps of stage number 1. He was able to hang on for some stage points and finished 8th.
Yeah, great showing from Lucas there. Able to keep that car up in the top 10 and get some stage points. Great showing.
Yeah, maybe a little surprising. I was, I mean, 20 laps is a big difference here. But now he's got an extra set of tires in the pits. Should push come to shove at the end of tonight's race, got an extra set of tires. Maybe when these other drivers don't, could be a long game play here for the 45 and also the 48, who I want to say was just outside the top 10 at the end of stage number 1. But the entirety of the field coming down for service right now. Looks like Christian Key going to come out of pit road with a 2-tire stop here. 6 seconds in the box for the 3.
2 tires here might be a little bit interesting. Might be a little bit difficult, especially with how loose they get off of 1. But it might be pretty interesting of a strategy here, especially gain some spots off pit road.
Well, I tell you what else is going to get real interesting here. Uriel Vaughn and Mackenzie Clayton, they pitted on the lap number 22 caution that we had when Lucas and Justin elected to stay out. This time they've flipped the script, and now they've stayed out and taken the front row for this restart.
Yeah, that's honestly what I was thinking some drivers might do. It's just going to be really interesting to see if they can keep the speed off the tires. If they were able to keep them relatively, you know, not damaged or not worn through the laps that they were out, then it might be all right. But it's really up to that.
All right, we expect the lights to go out this time by. Second stage going to end at lap number 68 as the field begins to double up here. Uriel Vaughn going to be the control car. Looks like he elected to take the inside lane here. Mackenzie Clayton going to be on the outside in that Toyota Camry as we get set to go back to green flag racing here in the Friggy Diggy Racing League on another Wednesday night here at the CyberThunder Broadcast Network. So glad everybody's hanging out with us. Thanks for spending a Wednesday night with us. Make sure you click the like button. It helps us out a lot. Get notified by subscribing every time we go live. We're here multiple nights a week bringing you all the action from the high banks. All right, Chris, so 34 lap dress rehearsal in stage 1. What'd you learn in stage 1 you're going to apply to stage 2?
Honestly, if I'm a driver out there, I'm really just wanting to keep it clean. Even though it seems like the tires, you could get a lot of track position early off the tires, I really am just trying to keep the car clean and honestly save the tires for later in the run. Yeah,
save the tires, keep the car out of the outside retaining wall. And we'll see where you may shake out at the end of stage number 2. We get set to go back green flag racing. New race leaders, Uriel Vaughn on the inside of row number 1. Mackenzie Clayton on the outside of row number 1. We get set. Pace car is going to be down and out of the way, and we're about ready to get back into the restart zone for the 3rd time out here this evening. It's time to go green flag racing once again in the Bigger in Texas 200 as we begin stage number 2.
Big push from the 97 to that back of that 19. Oh, he's looking to make it 3 wide here into turn 1. Let's see if he can.
Aiden Shrine 3 wide on the entry into turn number 1. Christian Key on the inside had to breathe the throttle there for just a minute to avoid pushing up. But 3 wide on the backstretch, 2 wide on the backstretch, and a battle for the race lead starting to heat up. There's smoke there at the front of the field as that fire is starting to burn a little bit hotter, as Aiden Shrine has made his way in 1 lap to position number 2.
He was moving there on that restart. You could see that everybody was really like 3 by 3 on the backstretch. That was like 2 rows of 3 by, and there's trouble.
Dustin McMurray going to go around on the backstretch. Looks like is that Mackenzie? That's going to be Gabriel Knight, actually. Dustin McMurray heavily damaged on the backstretch here. That car is absolutely demolished. You've got 4 wheels and 3 of them are turning. That's never a good sign.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. He's going to absolutely need a tow out of there, unfortunately. All
right, so Dustin McMurray going to tow that machine back to pit road here. Let's grab a look and see where this kind of started. We saw a bunch of three wides situations starting to happen. We're going to be three wide on the exit of turn number 2. Gabriel Knight on the inside, McMurray in the middle, and Christian Key on the outside. Chris, let's back this up just another smidge or so, and Chris, kind of bring us through what you're seeing through here.
Yeah, it really looks like the 11 is, well, actually, after seeing that now, it kind of looks like the 17 pushed up a little bit into the 11. Unfortunately, it didn't look like anybody anything was intentional, obviously. It kind of looked like the 17 just moved up a little bit into the 11. The 11 probably could have been a little more patient with that gap, but you know, it's a restart. Everybody's being aggressive, getting a few spots there. But it's really unfortunate what happened here.
All right, let's take another look at this here. We're going to go on board with the 17, because I think I also saw the 11 coming down a smidge, but we'll take another look here. We'll back this up here just another second, get a bigger look at it, and try to decompress this one a little bit more. So you can see the 17. I mean, I don't know if the 11 was trying to go for a gap there between him and the 3. There certainly was an opening there that he could have filled, but the 17 is going to come up a little bit. The 11 is going to come down. You see the air that Dustin's going to get there.
Yeah, really hard impact into that inside wall. This was honestly a really hard one to call, because from the onboard camera, the 17 looked like he was holding the line, you know, but from the outside camera, it looked different. It's a hard one to call on this one.
Dustin McMurray on pit road, and he's going to get the fast repair for that number 11 Toyota Camry and get back out there, but perhaps not before going a couple of laps down in the process. Looks like he may be 2 laps down at the moment. We'll wait for timing and scoring to catch up with what happened, and we'll close the loop on that one, but Dustin McMurray's still waiting on a tow.
You know, I'm wondering if the 11 still has his fast repair, because he got caught up in that incident earlier. He may have used it before, so I'm not sure if he used it or not.
One driver still on pit road, still trying to get some of the scratches buffed out on that number 8, last week's winner at Daytona, the World Center of Racing. Matt Semple down here on pit road, staying on the lead lap from everything that I can see. He's gonna have to get rolling here in just a minute if he wants to stay on lead lap. Lights are gonna go out this time by, and now we're gonna double them up once again.
Here we get ready for the fourth caution of the night here. It's getting ready to re-rack here, get going. The drivers are probably all worried here now with how many incidents have been going on off of turn 1. You got to wonder if people are going to be being a little more patient off of 1 here.
All right, so let's set the scene here. Aiden Shrine, last pit on lap number 36. He pitted with the majority of the rest of the field. Uriel Vaughn, though, was one of those drivers that pitted on lap number 22, the caution we had prior to stage 1 ending, was able to maintain the front row position out here for this restart. And then if you go back a little bit of the ways back to Gabriel Knight, Mackenzie Clayton, Matt Semple, all those drivers were just on pit road here, so they have about 5 lap better tires from, I guess we'll call it about 11th place on back, got tires. So we'll see if they're able to work their way through, or if Uriel Vaughn is able to use the clean air advantage to protect second place.
Here these drivers go. They're getting ready to hit the loud pedal once again here. They're stacked up real close on that inside line. Oh, good jump from the 97 there. Huge lead from that outside line. I wonder what happened there.
Aiden Shrine gets a great jump on the inside line as the field flashes by the time they get down here into the south end of the speedway. Everybody ripping the 4 Goodyear tires around the inside line of the racing surface. Christian Key was able to grab a spot on this restart. Uriel Vaughn has lost a couple of spots here on this restart. 3 spots down for driver number 50 in that Camry, now hanging on to a top 5 running position. But for the first time here tonight, Christian Key going to be a challenger for the race lead as he takes a look to the outside of Aiden Shrine in the 97 into 1.
Real nice battle going on here. Christian looks to have a run off the corner here. Separates a little bit from Aiden Shrine. but he's not giving up here. If I'm Aiden, I'm worried.
Yeah, you got to be a little worried, right? Because it's not a driver that has contended or pressured you for the race lead here tonight. So in the back of his mind, he's got to say, was he in traffic? Is he on better tires? Did he save his tires a little bit more? Or has he not shown his full hand yet? So all those are questions when you start to see a new driver in your rearview mirror. But Aiden Shrine able to pull away by about 2 car lengths by the time they get down the backstretch. Moving back over to about the 4th place position here. Logan Spencer up 2 spots, qualified 6th out here tonight, currently runs 4th. He's got Paxton Frith directly behind him, and Uriel Vaughn continues his slide and his fall from grace from the front row on this most recent restart, as he is now back down into the back half of the top 10, 10th place as it runs for the 50.
I liked how you brought up that Logan Spencer's back up in that top 5. We saw him have issues earlier in the race, and it seems like he was able to get that car going again and find his rhythm and able to get back up to the front.
Yeah, Logan was the driver that we saw get really loose or really something in turns 3 and 4, make hard contact with the outside wall in 3 and 4, and I would imagine he used his fast repair and got that 19 back up into contention here. About halfway through stage number 2, Brad Holmes takes a look down to the inside of the 45 of Lucas Hansen. The first
Lucas
car
looks to want to cut that line off.
The first car here with tires, though, Chris, is going to be somebody that's going to be worth watching. That's going to be the 17 of Gabriel Knight, involved in an incident a couple of laps ago. Gabriel Knight on about 5 lap better tires here. We'll see if he's able to make those work as the laps continue to tick off. Logan Spencer and Roy Hill III having a battle down the backstretch into 3.
A battle they are having as Logan looks to the inside here. Let's see if he can keep it nice off of turn 4. He does, and they're going to be real close here through the tri-oval. The 77 of Roy Hill is going to have a little bit of an advantage here. Looks like he lets off a little early into 1 just to get a run out of the corner. They're going to still be side by side here onto the backstretch.
And you can see the run
a little loose.
Yeah, you can see the run and the momentum that backing up the corner that Roy did there allowed to get on the backstretch on the exit of turn number 2. He was able to clear the 89 of Logan Spencer and make his way around, put a new third place runner, to Roy Hill III as they come across the start-finish line. Begin lap number 51 of 134 out here tonight. Aiden Shrine currently the race leader by about 0.2 of a second, by about 0.25 of a second. Here over second place Christian Key. The top 3, you see him right there, is Logan Spencer, as he's able to get around Roy Hill, take that spot back that he just gave up.
Yeah, Roy looked to get a little loose off 1. It's the same issue we've been talking about all night long. Everybody's getting loose off 1. Seems to, and we got issues here for the 45. Big into the wall. The 17 is going to be looking to the inside here, trying to get that position from him. Sends it down into 1 here. The 45 wants to look to back that corner up just like Roy Hill did before. And he look like he did it. He did it. He was able to fend it off.
He was able to fend it off. All right. And that's with 5 lap better tires on the driver number 17, Gabriel Knight, right now, that we're riding on board with here.
You got to wonder if the top line in 1 is running a little bit quicker than the bottom line here, because the bottom line seems to have a lot of loose off. And even though you're a little bit slower on entry, backing up the corner, the run off might be really valuable here.
Yeah, turn 1 has always been a contention point. Turn 1 and I have never gotten along here at Texas Motor Speedway. Very easy to overdrive that corner because you go down there and it looks like it just continues for miles by the time you get to the apex and the exit of the corner. So very easy to overdrive that corner. Let's ride on board here with the 45. Currently runs in the 8th place position. Let's ride on board and listen to the throttle down into 1. You hear him downshift that you picked up before earlier in the broadcast, Chris, and you hear him downshift, grab 4th gear. Halfway down the backstretch, he's going to grab 5th and go back up into high gear. The remainder of the track, I would assume. But interesting that they're using 4th here.
It looks like you got to be real patient off 1 as well. You could hear him being real late onto the throttle after downshifting. Lets the car engine break down to its speed to be able to run off the corner pretty with some speed, honestly.
right about here. He's going to grab 5th gear on the entry into turn number 3. All right, so interesting things going on up there. The battle for the race lead has extended just a little bit. Now it's about 0.6 of a second between Aiden Shrine and Christian Key. We're keeping a close eye on it. If anything changes, we'll bring you right back up to the action here. But this battle back here for about, I guess this would be about the battle for 6. You got Paxton Frith leading kind of a 4-car train down here on the backstretch of the Great American Speedway. Gabriel Knight,
17 to 45, very close there off corner.
Yeah, very close once again. And we're going to look for a little bit of a crossover on the start-finish line, and now the 17 to the inside, but that gives the 45 the lane that he prefers in turns 1.
As he does, looks like he gets that run off the corner, able to clear the 17, stay on the defensive here, and look to come off of 3 and 4 with some speed to create a bigger gap on the 17.
All right, so the 45 of Lucas Hansen able to protect the 8th place running position as it is right now. Logan Spencer is slowly but surely, and now he is there. There is no questioning it. Logan Spencer over the last couple laps has been faster than Christian Key in 2nd place. Now he's all over the back bumper of that number 3 Chevy Camaro halfway down the backstretch. Roy Hill still within camera shot here. Brad Holmes still runs in the top 5 as they run now with about 10 laps to go in stage number 1, but the battle is up for 2nd place.
Logan's creeping, man. He's really on that rear bumper of the 3 of Christian Key. You could see him being real aggressive into 3 and 4, trying to get that position from him. But honestly, I unfortunately don't think he was able to get the run here. But he might off of 1 and 2 here. He's probably gonna have a good setup for the entry into 3. As he has to get out of it a little bit just to not push up. Might have a good run off though.
Logan Spencer back to the throttle first, but Christian Key going to have the advantage on the exit of turn number 4. Carry that momentum here. We're going to have a battle down here in turns 1 and 2. We'll see if Christian is able to carry the momentum on the exit of turn number 2, as he's able to currently protect 2nd place here. This is the part of the run and the race, Chris, that you need to be really careful that you don't jump up to the outside retaining wall and grab it as you try to protect a position. He's going to give up 2nd place. Logan Spencer, new 2nd place runner, gap is about a second in front of the 89 before he's going to find the 97 of Shrine.
You know, if I'm Aiden Shrine, like I said before with the 17 of Gabriel Knight, just like I said before, he's real comfortable in the lead now. He just saw them battling behind him. Now he's got a calm 1 second lead on them. He's got to be real comfortable.
The field cycles through with 8 laps to go in stage number 2 here from the Bigger in Texas 200 from the Friggy Diggy Racing League. Battle up for grabs now. Brad Holmes on the inside of Roy Hill. This is going to be a battle for the 4th place running position. Brad Holmes able to take that spot for the time being, and now he's got his sights set on Christian Key, who has lost some time here to Logan Spencer. Logan Spencer has opened up a little bit over the 3rd place car of Brad Holmes. They were both able to get around Christian Key in the last lap or 2 and continue their hunt forward. Roy Hill not giving up just yet. Down to the inside, the 77 goes.
You saw last lap that the 77 really is preferring that high line into 1. It seems like he's getting it done really well there. He had a really big run on Brad last backstretch. He's coming in on Christian Key here. Wants to try to make that same move that he was trying to make on Brad Holmes into 1 on Christian Key here.
Yeah, I think Christian is really fighting an ill-handling car right now. Christian last pitted on lap number 36, the same lap that most everybody else did. Gabriel Knight, though, the driver that I expected to move forward with about 5 lap better tires, he's only been able to make his way back up to 8th place. Other drivers that came down on that lap, Matt Semple's had I think Matt's had a night that maybe he would like to forget early, with some damage early to that number 8 car on lap number 1, turn number 1. Makes for a long night. Matt Semple back down in 11th. Mackenzie Clayton also in 12th. So drivers with some fresher tires thought they were going to have that advantage, but it has not seemed to have come to fruition just yet.
don't count Matt Semple out yet. He's very, very good in that late race run. He's still on the lead lap, still in 11th. He might have a chance.
Through 3 and 4, Christian Key still trying to fight off as we see 3 laps to go in stage number 2 of this event out here tonight. Aiden Trine now has a 1.5-second lead over second place Logan Spencer, but the battle that we're following here is for 4th place for an additional stage point as they race halfway down the backstretch. Roy Hill on the inside. Christian Key not giving up just yet, doing a really good job up on the top side, trying to use as much momentum as he can to bring that Camaro around and still get a top 5 finishing position in stage number 2. These two are having a pretty good battle here, Chris. Neither one of them willing to give up.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the 77 is having some trouble on that bottom line because he hasn't been running it most of the race. He's been running in the middle, but seems like he was able to capitalize off it here, and the 3 is going to just give up that position to him here.
Well, I think part of it, Chris, has got to be the fact that when the 77 is on the inside line, with the way that turn 2 is designed here, you really need to be able to put the power down and use as much power and RPMs on the backstretch. And if you got a car on the outside, I mean, I guess it depends on who it is. You could always put the power, down, but you got somebody up on the outside, that's going to limit your ability to power down on the exit of turn number 2. Closing lap in stage number 1, Paxton Frith looks to grab 1 additional spot as Aiden Shrine going to come around and see the green and white checkered flag for stage 2.
Paxton almost had him there. He was looking on the inside. He had a good run off the corner.
Yellow flag is out for the conclusion of stage number 2 here in the Friggy Diggy Racing League. We'll let drivers get down here onto pit road. But Aiden Shrine, stage 2 winner here at Texas Motor Speedway for round number 2 of these drivers' seasons. They're going to look to pick up the iRacing.com pace car, and well, this has got to make the 97 feel pretty good out here this evening. Led a bunch of laps so far. Got the playoff point, got the stage point.
Yeah, if I'm in the 97, I'm definitely feeling good here, especially on points.
Take a quick recap of tonight's event so far. Aiden Shrine currently the race leader. 5 cautions, 2 for stages out here tonight. It says 1 lead change. I don't know if I believe that. I believe that's a little conservative on the 1 there, but 70 laps down. Driver's going to have about a 60-lap run to finish out tonight's event. 2 stages, 34 and 34, bring us to lap number 68 of tonight's event. And these drivers working with a relatively cool and calm and collected Texas Motor Speedway out here is air temperature 66 degrees with partly cloudy skies.
Yeah, that is a relatively cool temperature down in Texas. I'm very surprised about that.
It's not a Tom server. Tom's would be like 124.
My goodness. My goodness. I was really praying for no hot track at Auto Club. I'm happy for that one.
Brad Holmes, the pole sitter out here tonight, going to pull into pit box number 1, but Aiden Shrine was the leader coming onto pit road. We'll see who wins the race off of pit road. Last time drivers were on pit road, we saw some 2-tire stops for strategy. Looks like everybody's going to be 4 tires up and down pit road. Brad Holmes actually going to take the race lead on the exit of pit road here. Did Aiden Shrine? Am I going nuts here? I thought Brad Holmes... Okay.
Might be going nuts.
I might be I might be losing it up here. Hey, we're gonna step away here for just a second. I'm gonna allow myself to collect my thoughts. We're gonna step away for just a moment. We'll be back in just a few minutes. All right, back here at Texas Motor Speedway, and just in time, we get set to go racing. Once again, Aiden Shrine on the inside, Logan Spencer on the outside. We're back green flag racing from Texas Motor Speedway.
Aiden Shrine gets a huge jump here. Once again, he seems to be really good off those restarts. Brad Holmes and Logan Spencer getting into a battle. Looks like a caution's out though.
Yellow flag for Christian Key in the number 3. Let's first do this. Let's go over here, see what happens to the number 3. He's still rolling on track. I'll try to back this up and find out maybe what happened here on this restart. Maybe a restart checkup or something of the sort. Let's go on up here and grab a CyberThunder Broadcast Network replay. See Christian Key there, about the 5th car in line on the inside line.
I'm wondering if he missed a shift.
You know, he's just going to put the left side tires in the grass. Christopher Puglisi's going to do the same thing. Maybe that's more probably of a reactive thing, but Mackenzie Clayton may be getting through there. Gabriel Knight may be getting through there. All right, so that looked...
Mackenzie might have gotten a little bit of damage there on the front left, but he seemed to get through there pretty nicely.
On board here with the 19 of Mackenzie Clayton, we're riding directly behind the 42 of Christopher Puglisi. I don't think that was so much tire spin here, Chris, as it was... I don't think this was so much tire spin. I think this was just cold tires touching the cold grass, and that's going to send drivers around. Yeah, Mackenzie Clayton is going to collect a little bit of left front damage there on that Camry, but nothing overwhelmingly concerning here, but an issue on this most recent restart.
Yeah, they might have had a little bit of rain down there in Texas with how slick that grass was, but I don't know. Those drivers were getting real loose off the start.
A couple of drivers on pit road throughout this most recent yellow flag. Mackenzie Clayton, Matt Semple. I don't think there's been a caution period out here tonight that Matt Semple has not gone down pit road. Matt Semple still working on that car. Mike Schaefer started 4th out here tonight and currently runs in the 12th place position. Tonight's race sponsor for the Friggy Diggy Racing League, so I want to give a shout out and a big Texas thank you to Mike Schaefer allowing us to come out once again here on a Wednesday night. And then the story as it has been all night, Matt Semple on pit road. Oh, I saw a fender pop there.
I saw that too. Looks like somebody hit it with a sledgehammer hard enough. Yeah, Matt's definitely going to be getting some of that damage taken care of. Hopefully he'll make it back out.
So, all right, Chris, I never got an A+ in math, so I'm going to need your help here. Drivers can go about 40 to 42 laps on fuel, currently working lap number 75 or so. I would imagine that we're probably within a one-stop window here. Last time by, they were on lap number 70. That means they can go till about lap number 110, 115. Now drivers got to think about maybe splitting this here over the next, 20 laps? Maybe come down around lap number 90 for your final service?
Yeah, probably about 90, maybe 93 if drivers want to save a little bit of tire or something. Oh, honestly, we might see people come in a little bit later than that, to be honest, because the tire here is so valuable that we might have people just run as much as they can on their fuel until they can go in and get their tire changed.
It is, but on the flip side of that argument there, Chris, if the tire is so valuable, how much time are you going to give up if somebody pits 12 laps earlier than you?
That is very true. That is also very true. So it's kind of like finding that balance of whenever you find the first car starting to go in, seeing how long you want to really take the risk of staying out and kind of assessing how the tires feel to you at that moment.
All these questions will be answered over the closing laps of stage number 3 out here. Drivers working lap number 75. About to get a restart out here for the 6th time this evening here at Texas Motor Speedway. Aiden Shrine on the front row, Logan Spencer on the outside of the front row. Control car going to be the 97 here on this restart. Brad Holmes on the inside of row number 2, and Roy Hill III having a strong showing out here tonight, up in 4th.
Here they go, the iRacing.com pace car taking that hard left down onto pit road right now. They're getting ready to hit that loud pedal here.
All right, Barney's got that flag high up in the air again. Once again, we see the restart zone. Driver's going to grab 5 gears strong into turn number 1. We make it past the restart zone this time. Everybody clean and green. Down into turn number 1, Aiden Shrine with about a car length advantage over second place now. Brad Holmes was able to get around Logan Spencer on the entry into turn number 1. Roy Hill still holds on to 4th place as they run into turn number 3.
Aiden seems to be really good at those restarts. Every single restart we've seen where he's a control car, he gets a huge jump off the line. And it gives him a great setup for the rest of the run.
Yeah, he certainly does. And anytime you can start the run with clean air on the nose, that's going to help a little bit more, because you see Brad Holmes having to fight the dirty air already. You see Logan Spencer back in 3rd place having to fight the air already. So I will always take clean air over anything.
Absolutely, especially in these next-gen cars. The dirty air hurts so hard in these cars.
Absolutely. Let's take a quick look here. I want to take a look at, before this battle for the race lead starts to heat up too much, I want to take a closer look at that number 8 of Matt Semple. He's been on pit road more times than I can count. We'll take a look at that damage on that 8 car and see if it looks like he's got that kind of squared away and ready to make a charge late in the going of tonight's event. Down into turn number 3. He did have damage to the right front splitter. That looks a lot better than what it did.
Yeah, the pit crew team did a really good job at making sure that front bumper just came back out just like normal. Looks real great.
Well,
it seems like the car's performing really good too. He's back up to 9th position.
Yeah, Matt Semple's never one to sleep on. I mean, you had mentioned it earlier. Don't ever count out that 8 car, even if he is 12 laps down.
Even if he's 2 laps down with 5 minutes of damage, don't count him out.
Yeah, Matt Semple, again, last season's champion here in the Friggy Diggy Racing League. Last week's winner at Daytona. And finally in a position that he may be able to start gaining some spots here in the second half of tonight's races. We have just about 50 laps to go in tonight's event. Aiden Shrine still leading the race. He's got Brad Holmes in tow, about a tenth and a half directly behind him. Brad Holmes looks to have a little bit of speed in that car that we haven't seen all night.
Yeah, he's hunting that 97 of Aiden Shrine down. He really wants that first position here. But we know how Brad Holmes races. He's very, very aggressive, and he's very good with that car. He can control it very well.
Both of these drivers using the inside line down in turn number 1. Early in stage number 3. You could already hear him grabbing 4th gear down in turn number 1. Even on these fresh tires, I would maybe have expected them to stay in 5th while the tires were still relatively new. They've got about 13 laps on them right now. But Brad elected to use 4th.
I was gonna say, honestly, these cars, like in 5th gear, if you get them at too low of a RPM, they kind of start to bog. The 4th gear at higher RPMs definitely accelerates a lot faster. We saw Brad have some issues coming off 4 of the last lap. He got a little loose, but it seems like he got it squared away right there coming off of 4. He seems to have found that speed.
Jump back here to one of the battles happening out on track. Matt Semple has started to put pressure on the 45 of Lucas Hansen. Driver started 5th out here tonight. Hansen in the 45 Toyota Camry. Matt Semple trying to take a look down to the inside. Not going to happen. Door closes. And we'll have to try again in the next set of corners. But Matt Semple up about as high as he's been all night. It's been a name that we've talked about, but not for the right reasons. Matt Semple trying to march his way forward. And I think maybe a driver like Semple here, maybe a driver that plays his pit strategy as we approach the final stop, the final scheduled stop of the night. He may be the one to come down early.
Justin Stoyanovsky.
Single car incident on the backstretch here. The 48 of Justin going to go around. We're going to stay green here for the time being, but issues for the 48. He's going to stay stationary on the backstretch, trying to get that 48 rolling again. Heavy damage to the 48. Take a look at the track map. Where are the leaders? They're going to be coming pretty soon.
Yeah, here they come past now. I'm very surprised that iRacing didn't call the caution. He did come back up into the track, but he was alone, so I can understand that.
Take a look here. We're going to have to, well, let's try to do this. Let's try to do this. We'll try to grab Justin here on the entrance to turn number 1 on board with the 48.
Yeah, it just started walking away from him mid-corner. He tried to keep it corrected, but these cars are kind of finicky to correct sometimes.
Justin was able to get that 48 machine back down onto pit road, currently in for service. But kind of going back to what I was saying before we had the 48 go around, I think if there's going to be one driver in particular I'm keeping my eye on to maybe cut this this fuel strategy maybe a little bit earlier, maybe the 8 of Matt Semple. Try to gain up some spots. He's only 3 seconds behind the race leader, and that's certainly within striking distance. If he can come down and get a couple of laps advantage on the tires, could close that gap. But like you were saying earlier, tires so incredibly important here, may lose it on the back end.
Yeah, you gotta wonder if he's either pushing really hard now to split it early, like you were saying, or if he's kind of running it slightly easy now and then running it gonna pit later for the tires to be aggressive later. But you never know, honestly.
Paxton Frith with a little bit of a slide on the exit of turn number 2. That's going to allow Semple and the 8 to get to the outside and now put Matt Semple up into a top 5 running position for what may be the first time out here tonight for Matt Semple. Directly behind them, we got a battle starting to heat up, starting to fizzle out, starting to do something back here. Mike Schaefer and the 45. Mike Schaefer started 13th out here tonight. Started 3rd out here tonight for Mike Schaefer, one of the drivers that has gone the wrong way from the start of tonight's event. Got Gabriel Knight, who has had an up and down night here, working on the outside of Paxton Frith in that number 21. A couple of drivers making their way around Paxton here. Paxton's going to go from a top 5 running position down to 7th here in a lap.
Yeah, Paxton unfortunately not moving in the right direction here, especially after getting loose after turn 1. It looked like the car's kind of just moving backwards now, unfortunately. He's got to find the rhythm, find the pace so he can keep those tires on the track and gripping, honestly. And there's more issues off of turn 1. Just turn 1 is just the killer here.
Issues on the exit of turn number 1. Is that Christopher Puglisi? Issues for the 40.
I believe that was Uriel Vaughn.
Uriel Vaughn. Let's jump over to Uriel here. Both those cars seem to be going in the right direction here. Let's see if we can't grab a replay of one of these two drivers and find out maybe just who that was. We're going to go on board here with the 50 of Uriel Vaughn. We make our way out of turn number 2. Yeah, it's going to be Uriel, and he's going to go for a little bit of a lazy slide, collect the outside retaining wall, get some damage, and that's a pretty big hit there.
Yeah, it's a really big hit for the 50 there. It's definitely going to have knocked the alignment off. His splitter's pushed up. You can see a lot of body damage there. It's definitely going to affect his speed.
Kind of very similar to what we saw with Justin a couple of laps ago. Maybe just a little bit too early on the throttle, trying to put too much wheel into it. These cars get super tight, and then you put so much wheel into it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, now I'm loose.
Yeah, tight to loose of these cars is crazy. But Christian Key was really lucky off that, barely getting by. Like, you could see it on the broadcast camera. He just barely made it by there.
Christian Key able to make his way around, and around goes Mike Schaefer. He was able to get around Paxton Frith here, but Paxton's not done just yet. Paxton on the inside now, taking a look on the inside of that Camaro driven by Mike Schaefer. Paxton going to try to come back and take 7th place away. They've got Gabriel Knight directly in front of them. All while this is happening, Aiden Shrine hasn't really been able to open up that lead. Like we've seen in the previous runs out here tonight. So Brad Holmes, really kind of the first driver. Issues maybe for Brad Holmes.
Very big issues for Brad Holmes. Coming up right in front of the traffic here. Definitely going to be a yellow here. I'd be very sick if iRacing didn't call that one.
All right, again, 4 tires. 3 of them are spinning here for Brad Holmes. Let's grab a replay and find out if we can't find what happens to Brad here. Yellow flag is out over the speedway. Everybody getting caught up to the iRacing.com pace car. Let's grab a look here. And we'll we'll see if we can't find what happens here to the 00. The driver who was running second at the time. Is this going to be... Oh, no, that's not. That's going to be one of those incidents here, Chris, where two cars are coming together at the exact same time.
Yeah, that's just really unfortunate for the 00 right there. It looked like the 48 unfortunately got spit off the wall at the worst time possible and just came down straight in front of the 00. 00 tried to turn left to avoid it, but the car just gets super loose. So
yeah, you see the 48 of Justin Stoyanovsky all the way up on the outside retaining wall. Going to make a little bit of contact with the wall. And then Brad's kind of just taken his line on the exit of turn number 2 here. He didn't really do anything wrong or out of the ordinary, but the 48 coming down there.
Yeah, Brad was definitely just running his line, trying to run his own race, and the 48 unfortunately got spit out off the wall. But I could see what the 48 was trying to do. Like, I don't think the 48 even had any sort of idea that was going to happen. I think he just really wanted to stay up on top of the track, give Brad as much room as he can to run. But it's just iRacing gets a little finicky sometimes, and he got sent off the wall right down into Brad's line.
Race is scheduled for 134 laps out here this evening. Drivers currently working about lap number 96. I guess that's within the window, but it may be a little bit closer than any of these drivers were hoping for this next yellow flag out here tonight. We're under caution for the 7th time here this evening. 2 stage cautions, 5 incident cautions here in tonight's event from the Friggy Diggy Racing League on a Wednesday night.
As long as these drivers have 40 laps of fuel in their car, they're definitely making it. So I'm wondering if we're going to see a lot of tire saving this run or not.
Field in iRacing turns 3 and 4. We get set for the pace car to extinguish those lights once again, but Aiden Shrine, currently the race leader. He's going to have Logan Spencer in second. We're going to have a couple of cars directly in front. I believe that's going to be Uriel Vaughn and Justin Stoyanovsky. Likely going to be wave around vehicles here. They're going to start at the tail end of this field. Get Justin back to, well, I guess he'll still be 6 laps down because that's what he is now, and he's in front of the race leaders. Uriel Vaughn uses this caution as a grace to stay on the lead lap. Here is we're going to have just over 30 laps to go in tonight's event from Texas. All right, Chris, so now if you're Brad Holmes, I mean, Brad Holmes back in 9th place. I got to imagine he probably used the fast repair to get that machine back in contention. If you're Brad Holmes, if you're Matt Semple here, you're one of these drivers trying to come from the back to the front, closing laps here, how are you going to do it?
Honestly, you really got to be aggressive. Like, no matter if it's early or later in the run, you just got to be aggressive. The track position is going to be super important here, especially early. If you want to be aggressive early, you got to get that track position set. But if you want to save your tires and run it later, you still have to be on the defensive and not let yourself go down in positions here.
We'll see how it shakes out over here as driver's going to be getting the green flag once again. Pace car down and out of the way. Aiden Shrine, the control car, brings us into the restart zone. New car up on the outside of the front row. That's going to be Logan Spencer. Roy Hill in third. Aiden Shrine sees the green flag and sends us away. Once again, Matt Semple all over the back of Spencer by the time they get into turn number 1. We may be 3 wide before we get there.
Aiden Shrine, every restart, man, it's just a great jump. Logan's looking to be defensive on the outside here, get that runoff 1. Looks like he does. Semple's going to go with him, try to get that spot from the 77 of Roy Hill.
Roy Hill on the inside, Semple on the outside. Drivers trying to take 3rd place away from one another as they come out of turn number 2. Logan Spencer in 2nd place. Aiden Shrine, the race leader. They cross the start-finish line to begin lap number 100 of tonight's event. 2nd round of the Friggy Diggy Racing League schedule. Last week at Daytona, Matt Semple found victory lane. First driver to break into the winners column. Looking to go back-to-back. Aiden Shrine looking to get his first win on an oval in the Friggy Diggy Racing League. And Logan Spencer looking to get a first win in a long time for that number 89 Chevy Camaro. We cross the start-finish line. Aiden Shrine has a 1/4 of a second lead over second place Spencer.
Logan Spencer getting a little bit of fire from Matt Semple here. Semple's looking to look down that rear bumper here. Hopefully having to run into 3 and 4 here, trying to get the position over him. You can hear them shifting outside of the backstretch just into turn 3.
On board with the 89 of Logan Spencer, Matt Semple's going to get a good run off of turn number 4. Take a look down to the inside for driver number 8. They're going to be side by side by the time they come through the second portion of the dog leg. Matt Semple up to second place, able to clear Spencer for second. Logan Spencer looks to come back, but it may be too little too late. He's halfway down the backstretch as he's got a nose on the 1/4 of Semple into turn number 3. They're going to be side by side. Semple on the outside with the momentum, Spencer on the inside with the shorter way around.
You know, I think Matt Semple's doing exactly what I was saying, being aggressive early, trying to get that track position, then being able to save that tire until later in the run to be able to capitalize on the leader. That seems what is going to happen here.
Battles back here just a little bit. You got Gabriel Knight on the inside of Mike Schaefer, who makes a little bit of contact with the outside wall on the exit of turn number 2. Mike Schaefer still able to hang on to a top 5 running spot as they run right now. These drivers all within a second of the race leader, Aiden Shrine. Schaefer, Hill, Spencer, Knight, all these drivers on top of each other. And let's not look too far now, but you got Brad Holmes involved in the most recent yellow flag out here, still in 7th.
Yeah, he's looking at that pack in front of him, once looking at him talking about I need a piece of this.
Here comes Roy Hill on the inside of the 17 of the 89. Not going to be able to make it happen. This set of corners, Roy Hill still on the inside of the 89 trying to make that pass. He's got a little bit of help now with Gabriel Knight directly behind him. With Gabriel Knight trying to push him through, but it's so difficult to make the pass on the exit of turn number 2 here, as Logan Spencer is going to be able to power down on the backstretch, and Roy's actually going to make that spot happen. Gabriel Knight's going to have to be the one to give up that spot and give it another go.
Yeah, Logan looked to have a little bit of problems off it too there. Just a little bit of a wiggle. Might have touched the outside wall, but it was able to give Roy that space for that run there.
This is the battle for the race lead. It currently sits at about just under half a second here between Aiden Shrine and Matt Semple. We're keeping a close eye on it. As always, if something happens, we're going to bring you right back up to the action. Closer battles happening out on track right now. Gabriel Knight throws a little bit of a blocker on Brad Holmes on the entrance to turn number 3. Logan Spencer on the outside of Mike Schaefer. Multiple things happening here simultaneously.
Yeah, we got some crazy battles going on right now. Some close ones as well. Brad's really looking to that rear bumper of the 17.
Yeah, they've also got Christian Key. Christian has been fast out here tonight. Christian, one of the strong contenders here early in stage number 1, has fallen back down to 8th through a sequence of what some may call unfortunate events. For number 3 out here this evening, had an issue on one of the restarts, dipped the left side Goodyears into the grass, and that was enough to send him around. Gabriel Knight on the front stretch here. He's going to get really loose, but hang on to that 17.
What a save by the 17 coming across the start finish right there. Way to save that car. It's really difficult sometimes with these cars, and it was just great job right there.
All right, so he's going to cool the tires off here for about a second or so and try to recharge that Toyota Camry and send it forward once again. Logan Spencer, Brad Holmes, Christian Key, that's going to be a battle for the 5th place running position. That's what we're currently watching. Matt Semple has started to close in on race leader Aiden Shrine here for the first time tonight. Matt Semple a little bit faster than the race leaders last time by.
Yeah, I'm looking at that relative slightly count down every time.
Take a look at the last lap times on the scoring pylon. Last time by for Aiden Shrine, a 29.881 to a 9.17. So that time by, Shrine was able to extend that lead just a little bit here over second place runner Matt Semple. Roy Hill the third, though, he's one of the faster cars out on track right now. Both him and Mike Schaefer faster than the leader.
I believe Roy actually set the fastest lap. Well, not the fastest lap, but the fastest lap of that lap, that last lap. That's a lot of laps that I just said.
This time by, once again, Mike Schaefer faster than Aiden Shrine, as is Brad Holmes. So in the closing laps of tonight's race with under 25 laps to go, the battle starts to heat up. Every mistake is intensified here over the closing laps. Battle back here for about the, I guess we'll call this the 10th place running spot. Uriel Vaughn makes his way around Christian Key. Christian had a strong opening to tonight's race, but unfortunately it has gone the wrong way in stage number 3 in the closing laps of tonight's event here at Texas Motor Speedway, as he falls back down to 11th place, directly in front of the 42 of Christopher Pugliese, as Pugliese is going to take that spot as well.
Pugliese and Key are sitting there battling. It looks like Pugliese is going to be able to have a great run on the inside there. Might be able to clear right here on the, yep, he was able to clear there on the outside of 4.
Roy Hill is faster consistently than these race leaders. Last time by, he was again a 10th faster than both Aiden Shrine and Matt Semple. Mike Schaefer doing about the same thing as well. It's going to be interesting here as the laps begin to wind down, because I think Roy's got the speed in that car right now to get up there to Matt Semple. But how he gets around Matt Semple, he's not going to have a whole lot of time here. I mean, right now we've only got 21 laps to go. Next time by going to be 20. The opportunities, although he's faster, going to be limited if he can't get around Matt Semple pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Semple's not just going to let him by either. He's absolutely going to be very defensive here. And Roy might be trying to save a little bit of tire. It seems like he fell back a little bit from Semple. He might be trying to save a little bit of tire for later in the run, which is probably a smart decision here.
On board with the 77 of Roy Hill, that Ford Mustang, he's going to bring that machine out of turn number 2. He's still got Matt Semple in his sights. They're going to have a lap car. This may affect his lap here. He's going to have, I want to say that's the 48 of Justin Stoyanovsky. Oh, he couldn't have caught that car at an absolute worst time on the track. That's going to open up the distance now between him and Matt Semple. Now Matt Semple within 0.3 of a second of the race leader, Aiden Shrine.
Matt Semple hungry for this win here. It's really pushing it on this tail end of the race here. You know, he's really hungry for that dub.
Semple looks pretty comfortable behind the wheel of that 8 right now. Pretty steady on the wheel. Don't see him pushing it in too hard. Don't really see him fighting that wheel too much. The one thing that I did notice, though, is he seems to be dropping down into 4th gear maybe a little bit sooner than what we saw. A lot of these other drivers dropping down into 4th gear in turns 1 and 2, maybe around the apex of the corner. But last time by, we'll see again if he does it here this time. He hit 4th gear almost before he even made the corner.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I'm wondering if he's just relying more on the, oh yeah, he's relying more on the engine brake to slow the car down, and I'm wondering if that's giving him a quicker entry in.
I mean, it's going to do that, but if you're using engine braking, it's less brake you got to put in the actual car and on the right front tire, so it's also got a tire advantage if you're able to manage it properly.
Yeah, that's honestly a great point to bring up. I was really thinking it might put a little more wear on the front right, but that's very true. Yeah, you're not putting as much brake into it.
Yeah, that's 3 laps in a row. He almost redlines it going down into turn number 1. But whatever he's doing, it's working. Last time by, he was about 7/100ths of a second faster than Aiden Shrine. For the first time here tonight, we see Matt Semple in contention for the race lead and potentially the race win, as we're going to have 15 laps of racing to go. This time by, as Aiden Shrine sees the start-finish line. Runs a little bit lower in turns 1 and 2 on the inside line than the 97. Now within 0.3 of a second. That time by half a tenth faster for Matt Semple in that number 8. So he is certainly coming but it's going to be difficult with the air. I mean, he's already in dirty air territory here, Chris. As he gets even closer and closer and closer, it's just going to get magnified. Although I think him using fourth gear may be kicking the car out enough that he's able to overcome some of that dirty air that's happening directly in front of him.
Yeah, honestly, I definitely think it's helping him rotate early in the corner, getting him down to the track early without having to worry about the car pushing up. Early fourth gear shift is definitely helping in that sense. The only problem here is on 3 and 4, you don't really have that advantage of downshifting because you're going to lose way too much speed. So he's kind of got to balance having that speed in 1 and 2 and then using that speed in 3 and 4.
Yeah, let's take a look on here. We're going to ride on board with the current race leader, Aiden Shrine, for a moment or two. That time by, he definitely shifted into fourth gear a little bit later than Matt did the previous couple of laps that we were watching. We'll follow on board here. By the next time he comes around into turn number 1, and you'll be able to see the difference in where they're hitting fourth gear at the start-finish line. Aiden Shrine's going to see just a dozen laps to go. And he doesn't downshift all until pretty much the apex of the corner here.
Yeah, about mid-corner is when he downshifts there. And I'm wondering if that is saving the tires a little bit better. Like, it might be saving his front right a little better. I'm not sure.
Lead has opened up to just under half a second now. Aiden Shrine has been able to be a little bit faster than Matt Semple the last lap or two. Aiden Shrine now with 0.4 of a second lead over second place Matt Semple. Matt Semple trying to become the driver to win both races early in the season, with Aiden Shrine directly in front of him, within reach, but just out of grasp.
Honestly, if I'm Matt Semple, even if I don't get the win here, I'm in a comfortable spot, especially winning the race early on. Coming second is going to be great for my points here. So even if Matt doesn't push the car here to try to look for the win, which he almost certainly is, even if he doesn't, he'll still be okay in points.
That time by, Semple going to be a little bit faster than the race leader of Aiden Shrine, as he was about 1.5 tenths faster. So in the closing laps of tonight's event, under 10 laps to go out here, Aiden Shrine, they're kind of playing a little bit of a game of cat and mouse here. You're faster this lap, I'll gain it back on the next lap. We'll see who's saving the tires the most. And we don't know if either one of these two drivers has abused their tires or maybe not saved enough in terms of Goodyear tires on these machines out here tonight. But it's Chevy versus Chevy at the start-finish line with 8 to go in Texas.
Yeah, and they both seem to be gaining a gap on third place of Brad Holmes and fourth place of Roy Hill. They seem to both be gaining position on those two, so they might have a very similar wear pattern in their tires right now.
Yeah, Roy Hill was one of the faster cars out on the track, and over the last couple of laps, he's lost a little bit of time. Brad Holmes has been able to make his way back up into a top 3, which would be a podium finish out here for Brad if he's able to finish there as he runs right now. But Roy Hill going to lose a couple of spots. Brad Holmes, though, you got to wonder what would have happened if he didn't have that mistake on the exit of turn number 2. And we may not be done with those here tonight just yet.
Yeah, especially being late in these laps, we might have a lot of drivers being more aggressive here, trying to gain some more positions off the corner. And that, oh my goodness, sorry, I can't speak English, but the corner's not going to get any more forgiving later in the race.
No, I mean, drivers are putting more rubber down on the track as this race goes along. The shadows have gotten wider and longer, and right now turns 1 and 2 entirely in the shade, as is the backstretch here, possibly turn 3 as well. So these drivers fighting cars that are, I would imagine, building tighter as this race goes along, which in a lot of ways may be helping these drivers, because they're on probably about 30 lap tires here, so naturally the car just wants to break loose. But the shadows and the rubber helping kind of offset that here.
I was just gonna say, I wonder if that's gonna also maybe turn into a lot more of that tight to loose construct we saw. But I mean, there's only 5 to go, so the drivers are probably pretty much sent off their tires at this point.
See the field flash by Barney the Flagman as Barney begins to look for the white flag up in the box up there. Aiden Shrine, as it has been for the majority of tonight, leading over second place Matt Semple. Matt Semple had an issue to start tonight's race, has spent the majority of tonight's race behind the 8-ball, finally put himself in position. Think he may have just needed one more late race restart, which these drivers do have 3 attempts at an overtime finish if we do need it out here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway, the Great American Speedway. So that's got to be in the back of Aiden Shrine's mind. Another thing that's got to be in the back of these drivers' mind here, Chris, if we go into an overtime finish, we're kind of on the edge of the fuel run right now.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of pit stops if we go into the overtime range, and I'm wondering if people are either gonna take that opportunity to go down pits and maybe square off their fuel, or if people are gonna risk it and stay out. But hopefully we don't have any late race cautions, because that would really mess up Aiden's chances right here.
This time by, we have 3 miles of racing to go from Texas. Aiden Shrine has extended that race lead now to about a second over Matt Semple, and he's got clear sailing in front of that 97. Most laps led out here tonight for Aiden Shrine, looking to get his first oval win in the Friggy Diggy Racing League, and it may just happen out here tonight. Aiden Shrine going to see the white flag from Texas.
White flag out here from Texas Motor Speedway. Aiden's still in the lead, has a pretty sizable gap on Matt Semple here as well. Hopefully that stays that way.
Aiden Shrine one more time off of turn number 2. He's going to have one more set of corners to go down the Lone Star State into turn number 3. Aiden Shrine, no pressure from behind, 1.3 seconds back to Semple. Aiden Shrine out of turn number 4. He sees Barney, who's got the checkered flag in his hand for the Bigger in Texas 200. Aiden Shrine wins out here tonight in the Friggy Diggy Racing League. Matt Semple going to come home with a runner-up finish. Brad Holmes, a podium finish out here tonight. Roy Hill just misses the podium. And the top 5 is rounded out by tonight's race sponsor, Mike Schaefer.
Really impressive drive from Matt Semple there. All congrats to Aiden as well. He was putting on a crazy show the whole night as well. It was able to keep control of the race the entire time. Matt was able to get that car squared up and repaired, and able to finish on the podium. That's just real impressive.
Congratulatory bumps coming from the field here from Aiden's competitors out here this evening. We're going to grab the top 3 finishers and grab a word with them here tonight as Aiden begins to do his victory donuts out here. We're going to grab a word with our 3rd place finisher. That's going to be Mr. Brad Holmes. Double, Brad. Got to wonder how this race may have played out if you didn't have that incident.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't love that getting wrecked there in I think it was the first stage, and then getting wrecked by a lap car. I don't love that, but it is what it is some days.
Yeah, we took a couple of looks at that replay, and that was a tough one to digest and a tough one to swallow. It looked like the 48 was just trying to stay maybe up out of the groove, but maybe got too far out of the groove and bounced down into you. But you come home here tonight in Texas. How was your race otherwise?
Not bad. Felt like the car was really good long run, which is a new sensation for me. Usually I come out of the gate pretty quick and then fall off long term, but seemed to be able to keep the tires under me, and completely different track than we ran last year. It didn't feel the same, cars didn't react the same, so bit of a learning curve, but overall got some stage points finally, and then to put it on the podium, not too many complaints from me anyways.
All right, Salvo Speedway on the hood being represented well out here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. Brad, going to open up the floor. Anybody you want to say hello to back home watching you come home with a podium?
Yeah, I wanted that one in the worst way, but I got to, like you said, you mentioned Salvo Speedway. Shout out to them. Shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast. Chris Rose, I'll have to go back and watch. Don't know how Chris did, but that's a new one. So we'll have to see how he did. A big shout out to all the admins that help us run this league every Wednesday. Shout out to Mike Schaefer for sponsoring tonight's race, and then big thank you to Redemption Graphics for putting this beautiful paint scheme together for me. If you're looking for a paint scheme, I guarantee you they're the cheapest, but they work with you hand in hand the entire way, and they turn out gorgeous. So that's all I've got. Thanks, guys.
All right, Brad Holmes, the third place finisher out here tonight, going to kick him down out of here. Try to. There we go. There goes Brad. Now we're going to grab our second place finisher out here tonight. That's going to be Matt Semple in that 8. Matt, almost 2 in a row here, but you're going to come up 1 spot short.
Yeah, 1 spot short there. Kind of got ourselves in a little bit of a mess there in lap 1 on the backstretch there, and I didn't want to burn a fast repair that early in the race, so just worked pretty much all stage 1 and 2 trying to get damage fixed, and then stage 3 there try and go for the win. But I guess, you know, being damaged in stage 1 and 2, I didn't really race around anybody, so I didn't understand the dirty air. So when I got everything fixed and kind of was cycling back through the field and got behind Aiden there, I could get to that 2/10 marker and couldn't do anything with him. So it is what it is. Overall, good rebound, but yeah, 1 spot short.
1 spot short. You spent the majority of tonight's race behind the 8 ball, as I called it on the broadcast here earlier. Maybe 1 more late race caution. What do you think you might have had for the 97? Because you seem to be closing in on him there at the end before he started to pull away by a little bit.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see a late race caution there, but like I said, I think I just trying to get that damage fix and being in the back, not really racing around anybody. I didn't understand the dirty air with these cars, and that's everything in these. You can aero block so easily and so well with these cars. So didn't have any experience until the final stage there, and it kind of came back and bit me in the butt.
All right, hard to hang your head over a second place finisher out here, but Matt, we're going to open up the floor. Any hays and highs you want to send back home at Alto Construction? The floor is all yours, sir.
Thanks to you two for doing the broadcast. Chris Rose, thanks for stepping up and joining it. Hope you had fun. Thanks for Jaden for putting on the league. Thanks for Mike Schaefer for sponsoring tonight's race. Thanks for everybody who shows up. It's a great bunch of people, and I'm excited that it's slowly growing. So hopefully everybody keeps coming out and they're having fun as well and improving. So thanks to all them. Thanks to my mom and dad. Thanks to my smoking hot wife and my daughter for letting me do this. And thanks for any friends watching, and thanks for Alto for being on the car.
All right, get in touch with Matt Semple if you want to race on a Wednesday night in these next-gen cars. Matt and Brad, they'll beat you up a little bit, but they're nice. They're nice people. Matt, congratulations on a second-place run. Going to let you go debrief with your team.
Thank you.
All right, and that's going to bring us to our winner out here tonight. Aiden Shrine, so close so many times, but tonight you get it done at Texas Motor Speedway. You're going to put that 97 in victory lane.
Yeah, how's it going? That was a fun run.
Yeah, you've been so fast so many times, and I want to say I called it your first oval win, so hopefully that's correct. We've seen you fast on road courses, and you've slowly gotten a lot more noticeable and a lot better here on the ovals. How was your race?
It was good. Like coming into it, I didn't expect to be running up front, but like I had a good qualifying result, and like taking the lead early, like track position was kind of everything. Like the dirty air in second place, like once a car got within like half a tenth, they couldn't really do much. So like once I got to the lead, I just had to save my tires and just fend off the guy in second, not make mistakes.
Yeah, that's kind of what Matt had just said in his interview just a minute ago, and he said, you know, I could get there, but then when I got there, I couldn't do anything with it. So we come out to tonight's race at Texas. You're going to get a win. Unfortunately, they're not doing the win and in for this season. They're following the real NASCAR Cup Series rules, where it's points and consistency get you a spot in the playoffs. How you feeling about your chances? I guess let's look way down the line. How you feeling about your chances at a championship here?
I think I'm looking pretty good. It's going to be tough, you know, the rest of the ovals, I know, with Matt and Brad, but I think I had a good shot last year. I think I'm only getting better on the oval, so I think I have a pretty good shot at the championship, hopefully.
I would absolutely agree, and let's not count out the fact that we've got tracks like Martinsville and Darlington and those kind of technical tracks that maybe run a little bit more like a road course in terms of braking in the playoffs. But Aiden, going to open up the floor. Anybody want to say hello to watching you take home the checkered flag out here tonight?
I don't know, just thanks for you guys to set up the broadcast. I think it's pretty cool, you know, getting at least a couple broadcasts in to start the season, so yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, Aiden Shrine, the winner out here tonight from Texas Motor Speedway. Congratulations once again. Gonna kick you back down there. We'll stick you in the room with Matt and Brad and let you guys talk about how tonight's race finished. Chris, 134 laps, first time winner on an oval. Aiden Shrine, that's always cool to see.
Yeah, that's a really cool one to see, honestly. He's really, hopefully we see like SVG doing that same thing and he's rocking the same number, so.
Is using the, is he in the one car? No, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. We make our way out of Texas Motor Speedway from the Friggy Diggy Racing League as Aiden Shrine celebrates, makes his way into victory lane. Chris, let's take a look at the rundown from tonight's event here from Texas. Aiden Shrine gets the win. The podium is rounded out by Matt Semple and Brad Holmes. Roy Hill III had a strong showing out here tonight for that 77, one spot short of a podium. Top 5 is Mike Schaefer, tonight's race sponsor, so thank you to Mike for allowing us to come out here on the CyberThunder Broadcast Network once again. Logan Spencer and Gabriel Knight finished 6th and 7th out here this evening, with Christopher Puglisi in 8th. Mackenzie Clayton and Uriel Vaughn, the top 10.
Paxton Frith coming in 11th here in the 21 car, not 21st, came in 11th. We got Lucas Hansen in 12th here. We got Christian Key in 13th. Justin Stoyanovsky in 14th, as well as Dustin McMurray, unfortunately, with that incident finishing in 15th.
94 laps down for Dustin McMurray after being a challenger early in tonight's race. Gonna have to settle for a 15th place out here tonight. Aiden Shrine gonna be picking up the win out here this evening. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on a Wednesday night. Chris, thanks so much for doing this once again here on the CyberThunder Broadcast Network. This may become a regular thing, it starts to seem.
Yeah, it sure seems like it. I just need to get a little bit better at speaking English. But yeah, thank you again for having me out here. It was super fun.
Absolutely. Hey, if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, make sure you like the stream, get notified by clicking that bell every single time we go live. We're here multiple nights a week, bringing you the action from all iRacing services. Thanks again for hanging out. We'll see you guys again.